Hi, this video is for the shaft support assembly. There's going to be a series of videos, uh, and I'm going to, ahead of time, sorry for the noise, we got some construction going on outside. Okay, for this assembly, we have uh, 5 parts, 6 total. We're actually going to do this screw twice, okay? And then we're going to do an assembly view. All right, so the first one we're going to do is the screw. And probably one of the first things you're going to notice that all the dimensions are in fractions, which is okay. Uh, Fusion can do both. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is do the profile of this head. Okay. So we're going to go into Fusion. Again, make sure your document settings, your units are in inches. All right, so I'm going to go create a sketch. I'm going to hit this plane right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is create an axis. So I'm going to bring this straight up. Doesn't matter how long. Okay. But since I want this to be an axis, I'm going to right click on it. We're going to come down here to normal center line. That allows us to do diameter without having to do anything special. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is kind of draw the one side of this head. Okay, I'm just going to leave this square notch out. So we're just going to pretend that it's solid. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into our line command. I'm going to draw a line straight down. Okay, then I'm going to draw a line straight over and up. All right, let's hide these constraints. All right, so we know that the height here is 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to do dimension. Click on this little line, bring it over. Now, to type in 1/4, you hit 1/4, enter. Okay, it's pretty small. Okay, the height of this screw is 5/16. So I'm going to hit this line right here. Okay, since there's a line on top of a line, I have to be specific. Okay, so I'm going to come up here where I get that point, come down here to this point, bring it over. And again, the height was 5/16. So 5/16. The length, the diameter is 9/16. Okay, so do this. You got to hit this center line first. That tells it that it's going to be a circle. And then I'm going to hit the end point right here. And you notice it's now giving me diameter, which is 9/16. All right, let's go down. Okay, so here's our two endpoints here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the dimensions off. All right, so I'm going to go create arc, 3-point arc. I'm going to hit the top point here, bottom point here. Kind of drag my cursor up a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and put dimension. I'm going to dimension this one. And this is 0.728. Okay, just because I went ahead and kind of experimented a little bit. That's how I came up with that number. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish. Okay, go to isometric so you can see what's going on. You're going to do revolve, and it's already done it for you. And then you say, okay. So that's the head of our screw. And now we need to actually put in the slot for the screwdriver. Okay. So I'm looking straight ahead at one of the sides. Okay. Zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and turn that origin on so I get my planes. I know it's a little hard to see. Then I'm going to hit Create Sketch. And I'm going to hit this square right here. Okay. It might be here. It might be over here. It doesn't really matter. All right. And I'm going to go into wireframe because it's going to be a lot easier to see this. And I would suggest you do the same. Okay. Now, one thing we got to do is, because if we look at this little angle, there's no line down here at the bottom. So we can't really dimension it. So I'm going to hit the letter P, which is project. I'm going to click on that line down here. Okay. And say OK. What that did was create a line down there so we can draw on. Okay. Let's go to our rectangle. I'm going to start up here and bring it over. Just like that. All right. Our screw notch is 3/32. So dimension, hit this top one here, 3/32. And then it's hit this point, and then hit this point here, and it is 3/16. So 3/16. We need to get this centered. Mine's is a little bit more to the left. If yours to the right, do the opposite. So I'm going to hit this line here, hit this center point down here, bring it down. Now, if yours is more on the right, you're going to hit the right line and the center point, bring it down. We want half of this. Okay, so you can do the calculations, or I'm just going to click on that number and I get a D number, and I just type divide 2. Okay, or you can just type 0.047. So now my screw slot here is where it's supposed to be. Okay, so I'm going to finish. Let's go into an isometric, and let's go back into shaded modes with visible edges. We need to extrude this out, so we're going to go as extrude. We need to go both directions. So I'm going to go, instead of one direction, I'm going to go symmetry, and the distance, let's try 1 inch. Perfect. And there's the head of our screw. All right, now we got to do the body. Okay, this part. Okay, so I'm going to go underneath, create a sketch. Okay. The head of our body is 3/8, or the diameter of the screw is 3/8. So let's do a circle, bring it out, type 3/8. Then we're going to finish. Okay. We're going to extrude it. And according to our plans, it's 1 inch. So 1 inch. Next thing we've got to do is create this chamfer. Right. So under modify, you have chamfer. Squares things out. The one thing you want to click on is this corner right there. You want to click on that line and type 0.05. And there's our chamfer. Last thing we need to do is actually make the threads. Okay, Okay, and that's what this callout's for. That is for the threads. So it says that our diameter is 3/8. We have 24 threads per inch, and they're unified fine threads. And then they have a class fit of 2A, and that's kind of like the tolerance-ish. We'll go a little bit more detail later on what that means. Okay, so doing threads really easy. Oh, and the other thing we saw is it doesn't go all the way over, about 3/4 of the way up. So under create, we're going to go with threads. You're going to hit the body of the screw. Okay, we're going to model it. It's not going to be full length. Okay, we want the length to be 0.75. Okay, we're using the unified screw. Okay, so we're going to come down here to where it says designation. Pull down that menu, and you're going to find 3/8, 24 UNF. Okay, and then we're just say okay. And it looks like my thread went the wrong direction. So let's edit that here. Edit that feature. We need to bring it down. So I'm going to bring it down 1/4 of an inch. So down the bottom part, not the top part. All right. And there's our threads. There's our screw. Okay. So let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to put shaft support sub assembly. All right, so we need to make this into a part. Okay, so under body, where it says body 1, I'm going to right click, create component from body. Okay, so there's my component. Let's rename that as a screw. You notice it says screw 1. We actually need 2 of them. Okay. So I'm going to come up here, right click, copy. Okay, right click again, paste. Okay, now we can grab one of these arrows, move that over, say okay. There's 1 screw, 2 screws. Okay. Just that easy. And again, I'm just going to save just in case. All right. So that's it for this one. Okay. Next video, we're going to do the base here. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'll see you next time.